Welcome to Heavenly Eats TV. I'm your host and chef, Brian Cook, and we are here. This is our new channel. Thank you so much for those of you who have been following us. I encourage you to subscribe and like, as we will be doing some amazing things here. We take different ingredients that you have already in your home, and we help you to prepare it in a little bit of a different twist or a different fare, so that you can not eat the same things. So stick with us, stay tuned, and we're off to the mise en place station. And we are back. We are in our mise en place station. This is the station that we go to first before we go to our cooking station. It's super important to make sure that you have all of your ingredients first before you go to cook, because no one wants to get there and be ready to prepare a meal and not have everything there and then kind of running around. So when we were in school, chef would always say, make sure you have your mise en place. So we do have those different things here with us. A couple of things I want to go over. Obviously, the star of the dish today is going to be the tofu. The tofu is extra firm. When you buy tofu, you can buy it in a variety of different firmness or textures. Extra firm, super firm, regular firm. I guess it's like a mattress almost. No, I'm just kidding. But with that said, what that means is the more firm is the less water that it has in it. So therefore, it can come when you go to prepare it, whether you do it in the oven or whatever. And we're going to do it today where we make it crispy. We're going to dredge it into cornstarch. So you want to start with the firm or super firm, and you want to squeeze out all of the water. I prefer to do this method because as this starts to break, I like the pieces. A lot of times people will cut tofu up into cubes, but I like to squeeze it and break it off to different pieces. That way it kind of looks more and resembles more of a natural kind of a protein that we're going to be using. So you have a couple different pieces, you have a couple different sizes, but look at all that water that we're squeezing out of it. So we want to make sure that we have that squeezed out. And what we're going to do is we're going to dredge this into our cornstarch over here. And also what we are going to be doing, and the other thing I want to highlight before we get into our cook station, is this sauce that I made for the tofu. Now, again, we try and focus on making sure that we are bringing things to you that you may just already have in your home, giving you a different twist on how to prepare it. So in my refrigerator, I had some sweet and sour sauce. I had a little bit of teriyaki stir-fry sauce. I had a little bit of teriyaki marinade, and I had some sweet Thai chili sauce. So I said, well, hey, those things kind of all go together. So I took a little bit of a mixture of each. And then what I did was I added some peanut butter, kind of to make it more like a Thai peanut butter sauce. Just regular peanut butter that I had in my cabinet. I threw it in the microwave for a couple of seconds, excuse me. And we have our sauce that we're going to be utilizing. And here, this is one of the things I came across that I like just because I like a little spice. Kind of like if you go to, I forgot the name of that chain, but they have the crispy chili flakes that go on top. That's what this is here. Crunchy chili onion. You can find this in your regular supermarket. I added that to the sauce for a little bit of heat. And there we have it. Everything else is pretty much here together. We have our stir-fried vegetables. We have our roasted cashews, because I'm going to make this into a little bit of a Thai stir fry. So we're going to toast and roast these cashews. And for our cornstarch, we're going to season the cornstarch, and I'm going to use, I know you've seen a couple of episodes ago, I talked to you about Tabitha Brown seasonings. She has a very good garlic. I use her little smoky, little sweet, I believe that's what it's called, for my barbecue spices. But for here, we're going to use her very good garlic. Again, Tabitha Brown is salt-free, and we're going to sprinkle a little bit of that in here. We don't need too much because the tofu will take the flavor of the sauce that we are going to make. And then we just simply dredge the tofu into this seasoned cornstarch, and we are ready to bring all of these items over to our cook station. So stick around. We're heading into second base, and I'll see you there. And we are back. We are here, crispy tofu stir fry. This is going to go quick, so let's stay with me. So we have, as we had done in our mise en place station, we have all of our tofu that has been squeezed and dredged into seasoned cornstarch. You don't have to go crazy with the cornstarch being seasoned, only because the tofu will take on the flavor of whatever sauce it's in. So you don't have to go super crazy with the seasoning. However, you just want to make sure that you have a hot pan. And we have this on here. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our tofu in. Pan is not extremely hot just yet, as I thought it was. But we're going to put this tofu in, and then we're going to basically pan fry. We only have enough oil just to kind of coat the bottom of the pan. Now, as I go ahead and put this in, and I'm not going to crowd the pan, it's starting to come up. Starting to get the temperature right now. I'm not going to crowd the pan because I do want it to be some nice seared pieces. Now, what you'll notice is that my tofu is not cut up in cubes like you're normally used to seeing it. And the reason for that is I want the abnormality of it. I want the different textures and sizes. I want some to be a little bit crispier than others, just so it kind of gives a take of regular chicken in a dish. Now, I mentioned to you before, if you listen to the intro to this channel, I am a caterer, and we had a client who was a vegan, and they wanted some type of a dish. They wanted some type of a thing to be served for their guests. And I came up with this tofu stir fry, and we're actually going to do a tofu stir fry bar for their action station, rather, for their wedding. So we'll have the crispy tofu available, a couple different sauces, and then we'll have different things that people can kind of put into it to make their own vegetable stir fry. So it is very, very not only easy to do, but gives tofu a different flavor, a different complexity. And to someone who might have been adverse or thinking you can only eat tofu a certain way, I'm presenting to you a different alternative, which is obviously full of protein and an excellent source or excellent substitute for chicken. So we are going to be patient and not stir this, not turn it. As you can see, I'm letting it cook and coat on one side. And if you can see, perhaps the camera guy can zoom in, you'll see how it's starting to brown on the bottom side of the tofu. And then we'll flip it over just like if it was regular chicken, and then that will be what we need to do. So, and now we're starting to get some color here. And that's the hardest part, to kind of wait for it to get to be crispy. But the cornstarch is what does give it its nice texture. And I would have done this, again, as I mentioned to you before, make sure you do these things in an oil that has a high smoke point. I would have used avocado oil, but my film technician is allergic to avocados, so therefore I used just vegetable oil to be able to get this done.
We appreciate it.
That was my guy who does like tofu. And I don't know if he's ever had it like we're going to prepare today, but as you can see, this kind of emulates chicken. Kind of looks like chicken to me in a stir fry. And we're just going to let this go just a little bit. And what the process is to go ahead, we're going to basically fry our tofu, set it aside, and then we're going to put our stir-fry vegetables in, and then we're going to introduce the tofu back into the dish, dress the plate, and there you'll have it. So rather than just sit here and watch this happen. I just want you to look in and see. But as I said to you before, the biggest thing is that when you're frying this, just be patient. Just wait a little bit, give it a minute or two on each side, and you'll get your desired crispiness. And then once you set that aside and when you re-add it into your dish, you will be amazed at what that does to the overall dish. So stick with us. I'm frying this tofu. We'll see you at second base. And we are back. Somebody must have hit a 2-run double because we have rounded second base and in our way sliding over to third, getting ready to bring this dish home. So we have our saute pan. We have, and I want you to take a notice of this right here. We have the crispy tofu stir fry. If you look at it, it looks like chicken. I'm not trying to fool you or whatever, but I'm just trying to let you know that right here, this right here looks like chicken, and you obviously see the color and the taste on it. It is something that's going to be pretty special for this dish. And if someone didn't know, my wife was here and she came in and says, "Oh, what's this right here?" If I didn't tell her it was tofu, she would have ate it. And we're going to go ahead and finish this off right here. So we're going to start. I put a little bit of butter in the pan because I just like what it does with the vegetables here. We're going to start off by toasting some of these cashews. Now, you don't have to. This is just an option to give it a little bit of a texture and nutty flavor to the dish. We already have peanut butter in the sauce as I mentioned before. And since I don't have any sesame oil, we're going to toast some of these sesame seeds also too, just to give another depth of flavor. So we have that there. And that's all going. We're going to toss in our stir-fried vegetables. Now, I mentioned before that we had a catering event. I had these left over. If you don't like mushrooms, peppers, zucchini, you can do whatever stir-fried vegetables you prefer. But we're going to get some color onto these. And we have everything going. We're going to get some color onto these. I'm going to add just another pat of butter. Remember, we've always talked about using, this is a sweet unsalted butter. We talked about that before in some of the past shows, making sure that unless your recipe calls for baking with it, using unsalted butter is the way to go, because then you can monitor and add the salt that you want to put into it. I'm going to hold off on adding my broccoli because that was already steamed, and I'm going to now put in my garlic because I didn't want that to burn. And I'm gonna use all this garlic here. Garlic is good for you, good for your heart health. We trying to do better in 2024. I know I am. I don't want to be on screen. I know that the screen adds 10 pounds to you, but I think I'm doing that myself, and I don't want to do that. So here we go. If you can see, we have these toasted cashews. We have the sesame seeds that are toasted, and our vegetables are starting to stir fry. So just let's be patient with it. We just want some nice color on these zucchinis. Because when you get that color in there, what happens is the caramelization, the sugar that's in the vegetables start to caramelize, and you start to get that nice color, and it just becomes more appetizing to be able to eat with. And that's what we're going for. Because when you mention tofu, people, as I mentioned before, HR, aka my wife, is like, I don't want that. But I guarantee you, when she comes out and sees this dish, she's gonna say, oh. So we have our stir-fried vegetables going there. I'm gonna add my ginger now. Again, you can go a little less ginger if you like, a little bit more ginger if you want. That's adding some depth of flavor. And we're getting ready to add, this is just a little bit of cilantro that I had, totally optional, doesn't necessarily go, but I didn't want to throw the herb away, so put it to use. Mix it in with our dish, it's not gonna hurt. Nice color, the vegetables are starting to char a little bit. And then we are going to add our broccoli. See this? Just look at this. Look at this. When you cook for certain ethnicities, I had the opportunity of doing that in the past month and a half. Vegetables are huge. Some more importantly with other ethnicities, but this plethora of colors, oh my goodness. This is what's going to make the dish pop. So we have the broccoli, and then we're going to actually add our sauce. And this is the sauce that I made before. As you can see, it is a little thick. That's because everything is settled. Not to worry. We're going to thin it out with a little bit of water. Not too much. Oh man. If you could smell this, boy, I tell you. This right here is something special. And as this cooks, we will simply add our crispy tofu back in. And we don't need all of it, but we'll give this a gentle toss. And that's going to incorporate some of this sauce. And you hear it. You hear how crispy that tofu is. And that's going to incorporate all that goodness. And this will be wonderful all by itself or with some rice. Come on back while we plate this bad boy up, and we will see you on the other side. And we are back ready for the plate up. Boy, this right here is something special. So you don't have to have rice, but if you decide to, let's hopefully that mold will hold. You can then take your stir fry. Boy, this looks amazing. Easily a bestseller in a vegan restaurant. I promise you. Throw some green onions. And then we're going to hit it with a little bit of the crispy chili flakes. Got to go over the plate. And there we have it. Crispy tofu stir fry. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope that you enjoy. If you like what you have seen, if you are interested in any more information, please respond, reach out, subscribe, like, and we will see you again back in the kitchen real soon. Crispy Tofu Stir Fry, Heavenly Eats TV. Thank you so much for watching.